Hello and welcome back to another one of our videos from our series to get corporate ready in 14 days. In this video, we're going to show you how to structure your written communication, because no matter how important you think your email is, the truth is it's going to be one of hundreds of emails arriving in somebody's inbox. And busy people need to be able to interpret and draw meaning from it in a really short amount of time.
So let me show you what we mean through a quick challenge. I'm going to show you a picture and give you 2 seconds to figure out how many dogs are in the picture. Okay, ready to count the dogs?
Okay, most people find this quite difficult, but let's have a look and see if this makes it any easier.
So now we've got some dogs and a whole lot of other stuff that's not really relevant to you. Making conclusions is taking even longer. And this is the mistake that many people in the business world make. They're not really writing for the reader, a business executive who is receiving hundreds of emails a day. Your emails will get lost in the email black hole, for example.
So let's try this a third time. You've got 2 seconds to count the number of people in this picture. Ready? Much easier, right? Very quickly you can tell the 16 people. Let's make it even harder. How many people are there now? Did you get it right? There were 48 people in this picture. Earlier, you might have struggled to spot the 16 dogs in the picture, and now you're able to count 48 people in 2 seconds, almost 3 times as much data in the same amount of time with a higher degree of accuracy.
And this is exactly what we want you to think when you're writing your next email to someone. How can I make sure that they can process the maximum amount of data in the shortest amount of time with the highest degree of accuracy? This works because we're programmed to look for patterns and meanings, and it was essential for our survival.
When things are in logical groups, we can interpret things more quickly, and in today's business world, executives are busy and short of time. They'll often get really impatient with people if they're not getting to the point. So what we're going to do now is tell you to do the opposite of everything you learned at school or university. So keep watching to find out why this is important. So what we're going to tell you now is the opposite of everything you've learned at school or university. Keep watching to find out why this is important.
Firstly, you're going to start your email with what you might think is the end, your conclusion or recommendation. People want judgments or advice. That's what they're paying you for. If they want facts and information, they'll do an internet search. So your conclusion or recommendation is the value piece. Don't be tempted to take the reader through your data and research first. If they agree with you, they probably won't care about the background stuff. And if they trust you, they'll only ever want to go with your advice and ignore the why anyway. Keep watching and we'll show you what this looks like in a moment.
So underneath your recommendation, you can put what's called your higher level of insight. Usually this is 2 to 4 reasons as to why you've reached that conclusion. And underneath that, you can put more of the detail of your ideas, your research, organized into clusters presented in really simple language. Now this last part might not be so easy to grasp, so let's have a look at an example. Here we've got a letter to Wendy from Kamala. Have a read through. We can get the meaning. It's pretty clear once you've read the whole letter. But let's look at that applying our structured communication technique.
So here the meaning of the letter is instantly clear. We know what's happening and what the outcome is within a few seconds. That's because we started with the conclusion. If the reader wants more information, they can read Kamala's higher level of insight or the summary of the data in the short one-sentence clusters. And finally, if Wendy needs more information, she can read the detail of the examples.
Okay, we know friends rarely write to each other in quite such direct language, but as a businessman, I want to know immediately what your advice is. I want to open the email and straight away I want to know what the conclusion is. If I need to know any more, it's in there if I want to dig deeper.
So let's take a look at another example from the world of business. In this scenario, your boss has asked you to look at how the business can improve performance. Really important, right? You've been asked to work out how to increase profit margin in the company. And as we said, we're going to start with the end.
We need to reduce operating costs.
So this is your conclusion. And next, you need to put the higher level of insight, your reasons for the outcomes of your research. Here we have 3 reasons.
Cut travel by making better use of teleconferencing facilities. Reduce current spend on advertising. Negotiate better deals with our suppliers.
Great. Your reader now knows your recommendation and 3 ways to deliver it. Underneath that, you might provide more detail only if the reader wants it. So under your third approach, you might have 3 detailed explanations such as this.
Reduce the number of suppliers to benefit from volume discounts. Approach new suppliers who will give more competitive rates. Tighten up internal procurement procedures.
So here we have really well-structured email which the reader understands quickly. And if this is for distribution amongst your team, you can often cut straight to the chase. But often you need to add the other 2 parts, the context and the trigger. In our email here, the context might be,
we've been developing a market for our product in the Nordics.
And the trigger, which is essentially, why is there a need for this email, might be,
the CEO has announced a 10% reduction in budgets as part of a global cost-saving exercise.
So here we have our complete email. But the great thing about this is that it works verbally as well. Meetings can drag on for ages and busy professionals love it when you get to the point. So make sure you bring your conclusion early on, and if people want to know more, then you can give them insights and research.
There's a great book on this that we recommend called The Pyramid Principle, and we'll put a link in the description below. But guys, tell us about any great books that you know about. We love a great recommendation, and we can pass that recommendation on to others through the description in this video.
As always, we've enjoyed doing this video. It's one of our biggest frustrations when people write long emails where it's difficult to work out the main points.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you've any comments or questions, again, don't forget to post them below. We love hearing from you guys, and it helps us plan our future videos. So subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our next videos.